my name is Katie Teage and I am going to start a crochet podcast. Why not? I love watching them. I just feel like I've made loads of new friends by getting to know people and what they create. So I thought I'm going to give that a go too. So this is the Katie Teage Crochet Podcast. I'll think of a better name. Number 1. And I'm coming to you from Watford in the UK, and it is the 2nd of April, and it's really cold in the UK still, and it's a bit grey, but I just thought, why not sit down and tell you about my crochet journey so far, what I've created, what my works in progress are, what my finished objects are, and what I'm going to try and cast on. There's loads of stuff here that I'm going to show you for the next few months. So yeah, hopefully I won't say too many times and my diaphragm will drop so my voice will sound a bit more relaxed as I get going. But let's start. Crochet. Why? About a year and 6 months ago I decided to start crocheting. I'm a planner girl, I think that's what we call ourselves. And I'm in a group of this lovely shop called Ellybeth Designs, and in the Ellybeth Designs group on Facebook there was Lucy Attic from Attic 24, and she had the front of her planner as one of her crochet creations, and a few of us just started getting more intrigued by Lucy's creations, and then Rachel, the owner of Ellybeth Designs, collaborated with Lucy and they made a sticker countdown kit and just kind of sticker kit for the Moorland blanket crochet along, and I had a look at it on the blog and I just totally fell in love with it. That year my husband and I had walked coast to coast, the coast to coast walk in Britain from St Bees to Robin Hood's Bay. And we literally walked the Yorkshire Moors, the Lake District, the Dales, everything. And I just loved the colours, I loved the landscape, being out in nature every day, and I think this blanket just really spoke to me. And I thought, I'm going to make that, I'm going to learn to crochet and I'm going to make that blanket. So I went down to TK Maxx. We've got a TK Maxx near where I live. I thought I'm going to find some crochet stuff there, no problem. And I found the Star Wars crochet pack. I think it's by Lucy Collins. I will put all the information down below. I found the Star Wars crochet pack and I just made, basically you got a hook and the book, oh it rhymed, and the yarn. I now know to call it yarn, not wool, and some stuffing, and I made Yoda. Here's Yoda. And Yoda was my first creation, and I'm a massive Star Wars geek, and that was it. I thought if I can make Yoda and have Yoda in my life, that is amazing. So I made Yoda. I also made a granny square by following the Bella Coco granny square tutorial. And I got so frustrated making that. Actually, I made that before I made Yoda. Sorry, mate. I got so frustrated making that granny square. I kept getting it wrong. I couldn't understand why I was getting it wrong, and I just thought, I think I threw it on the floor. I was like, I hate this, can't do this, it's too hard, don't know how, I couldn't get the tension right, I couldn't get my hands in the right place, I seemed to be trying to use every finger. Excuse me. And but then I persisted. And one of the main reasons that I persisted is my sister-in-laws, they're both amazing at crochet, and one of them gave me a crocheted garter for my wedding, and the other one gave us a massive crochet double blanket for our wedding present. And I've always loved those things as well. And so I thought I've got to do this. I really want to get into it. And so yeah, after I had Yoda, made Yoda, and made the granny square, I thought, okay, I can do this, and I got the Moorland blanket pack for Christmas and started it. And it was just became my favourite pastime. I took it on trains, buses, the tube, in the car, sitting down watching the telly, at work in lunch breaks. I would just do a bit of crochet. and I just found it a really calming activity, and I'm sure that lots of people do crochet and knitting for exactly that reason. And I know that was in the news recently about how knitting can make you calm. My brain does tend to work really fast, and I think for me it's a good way. I don't know, if I'm doing something with my hands and my brain just thinks a bit slower, it actually thinks a bit clearer, and I think it's actually helped me get clarity in a lot of decisions. Just, you know, I'm gonna knit on this, I'm gonna crochet on this, and think about it. Well, this video just got deep straight away, didn't it, people? Yeah. Also, my grandma used to knit, and she taught me to knit, and she taught me to be a thrower. I now know this term as well, thrower of the knit. And I used to have a teddy bear, and Grandma and I would literally make dresses for Teddy and jumpers for Teddy all the time. I lost that teddy bear. Deep pain. It still hurts. I'll tell you the story one day when I feel brave. But Teddy is no longer with us, and neither is his dress. It was his dress as well. It was amazing. It was a pinafore dress with a crossover at the back. I should actually make a dress for me of Teddy's dress. And Teddy had a wine and pink jumper. He was awesome. Sad times. Anyway, that's why I crochet, and that's what I crocheted. And you can have a look at my Ravelry page. I've just spent some time really sorting out. I should have got this ready. Really sorting out my Ravelry page, and I'd love you to. Oh dear. Oh, I'd love for you to come and hello. Follow me on Ravelry and show me what you're doing as well on Ravelry, because I'd love to get to know more people on Ravelry. Hold on, I'm just signing in. I will get there. Right, yes. I'm just on there as Katie Teage, my name, and I've got all of the things I've ever made on there, which I'm really proud of, and you can see what I've made and the yarns that I've used and all that kind of stuff, and things that I've got in my library that I want to make. Yeah, so that's what I've done so far. I don't want to just show you them all because we'll be here for a while, and I want to say what I'm doing this year. Okay, so let's move on to works in progress. I'm going to stop doing this. Whips. I am currently... Have I got it here? Yes. Oh, it's over there. Hold on. I'm back. I am currently completing the Potter and Bloom Caravan of Love shawl, and I'm actually knitting this. I've got into knitting a bit recently, and so this is it. I'm so nearly there, but now it's on the really long rows, and I've used the Sheps's Stone Washed Sport, I think it is, 5-ply. I've used it in crystal quartz and green agate, and I've got 4mm needles on a, I think that's a metre cable, might be 120. Je ne comprends pas. But I have been quite unwell for the last month. I've had a reoccurring flu. There's no other way to describe it. So the last 10 days I've literally been in bed, and I've been able to knit, which has been great. And I watched the whole of Stranger Things whilst knitting this, so this is now, I might call it my Caravan of Stranger Things shawl when I finished it. But that is my first work in progress, and I hope to finish that over the next couple of days. Now that I'm on to these last really long rows, I try and do 5 to 6 a day, just sit down and do a couple of rows. Yeah, so we'll see how I get on with that, but hopefully finish that one really soon. It's my first whip, and I keep that in an Amazon gift bag that I got, and it's a good size. My second work in progress is my husband's socks, and I'm doing these on a 0.225 circular needle, and I'm doing them together, cuff down, I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock. So the Winwick Mum Sock Along sock pattern is what I'm using. I've never used Magic Loop before. I've never done 2 at a time before. So there's lots of learning with this. And this is the big thing about crochet and knitting that I really love at the moment on my journey, is that I'm learning things all the time. And I really enjoy learning. I'm a teacher in my other life, and learning is a big thing for me. I should have got some water. Might have to go and get some water in a bit. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, and these are the 2.25 is slow progress. It takes me about 15 minutes, I think, to go round both socks. So 7.5 minutes a sock, but it's taking a bit longer than I want, and I need to get better at the edges. The edges, I just feel that, yeah, they're a bit gappy. So Ivan says he's fine with it, but I think it's going to be a learning progress. I hope you can see all this. I've just realised I've been holding it really close to my heart. Yeah, so this is the wool. Yarn. Sorry, iPhone. Yarn. It's a Zalba Ball Crazy, and it is the Paws in Blue, or Pals in Blue, and I wound it up into 2 balls, and I've got a 2 at a time sock bag from Quince Pie on Etsy with some owls on, and this beautiful blue colour. And yeah, I'm going to try, once I got a bit addicted to the Caravan of Love shawl, I think that's what happened. And so the socks kind of went down the wayside, and also I normally do socks on the train because I can just scrunch this up and whack it in a bag and just get it out, and I'm on trains quite a lot, but because I've been at home, I've been doing other things. So they are my current works in progress. Probably should have done this the other way around, shouldn't I? I've done finished objects first. I think that's what the cool people do. We'll do that next time. Let's move on to finished objects. So because I was at home a lot this month, I managed to finish my Spicier Life blanket, and I will insert some photos or some footage of this because it's quite big, and if I just do this you're not seeing it all. But this was a pattern made by Sandra from Cherry Heart, and excuse me, and I used the designated Starcraft DK jar pour, I think it is, colour pack, so I just followed the pattern exactly. And this is kind of meant to be a lap blanket. It's got a beautiful border on it as well. I really enjoyed doing the border actually. And I got this on Christmas Day, and I started it on Christmas Day, and I did up to here, I think. Sorry, up to here in like Christmas Day, and then I stopped for the whole of January. I went to Australia. I was going to take it on the plane with me to Australia, but I decided to take just a carry-on to Australia, and then I had my ukulele and a little bag, and then I was going to try and stuff in all my wool and do it on the plane. But I didn't. So I kept it at home, and then I just kind of didn't get into it again. And then I did a chunk more in February half term, and then I went up to see my friend Rachel, who I've been on one of her yarn podcasts, The Adventures of Yarnia. Brilliant. This is why I need a witty title. And I did a little bit more because I knew that I was going to show it on her podcast, and I thought I don't want to just show like a small bit. But then I got home and I just went for it, and I did it every day, loads of it, and I wasn't very well, and so I was like, do you know, this is the good thing about being ill, isn't it? You just sit at home, create. Well, I do. I like to create. And yeah, so I finished that. I'm really happy to have finished it. It was really enjoyable, learned loads of new stitches, and yeah, I like that. So that's one finished object. Yes, when I went to Australia, I thought, right, if I'm not going to do, oh, excuse me, my back, if I'm not going to do my blanket on the plane, I'm going to do some socks. And so I need to get some sock blockers to show these a bit better. but I made these beautiful socks, and these are made from the Debbie Bliss Rialto luxury wool that Rachel picked up for me in Black Sheep wools. This is in the colour, hold on, just show them together. This is in the colour, I have it all on the Ravelry project, flight, I call them flight socks, wee. They're in the colour Soundwave. It's actually sold out at the moment, but I just think it's beautiful. So they are my socks. I've worn them quite a few times. So I made those in January. Then in February I made a shawl. I made the cupcake shawl here. This was a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I love this shawl. I'm going to put it on now that I've shown you. And I made this, choose a smile. I made this with, let's have a look, I've got all the labels. Some wool from Catherine at Afternoon Treats that I got at Yarndale. That was my first ever yarn festival, fair thing. Oh, great. Not so great for the bank balance. Great for life. And I bought this. This colour is called Ice Cream at the Beach, and the dark blue is called Midnight Hour, and they are both, well, this is the blue is a fingering 4-ply, and the Ice Cream at the Beach is a fingering sock. Yeah, and it's lovely. It's all just really lovely, ethically sourced wool and beautifully hand dyed. So yeah, made that in February, and then I finished my oh dear, brain is going Spicy Alive lap blanket in March. I'm trying to finish at least one thing every month. I feel that will make me quite productive this year for me. This is my, yeah, I've been crocheting 1 year, 6 months. Want to try and get something out every month. So my socks, my shawl. Now, this is something I saw on Sandra Cherry Heart's podcast. She had started the Good Intentions Stitch Along, an embroidery loop, and it was an embroidery loop where you put your intention for the year. And it was really beautiful with flowers and wood and all this lovely stitching detail, and my step-grandma was an incredible seamstress, patchwork maker and embroidery lady. She was just, oh, her work was second to none. It was just beautiful. If she was alive now, she would have like a #1 selling vlog, because her work, beautiful. And so I thought I'm going to do that to honour her, and just because she would love it if I did that and showed her. But I thought I'm not going to do my good intention for the year because it changes every day with me. I'm going to do my Wi-Fi code because that's something that doesn't change, and people ask when they come around, what's your Wi-Fi code? So I'm not going to show you the Wi-Fi code. I've covered that up with post-it notes, but this is my embroidered loop, and I am super proud of it. And it's got flowers down here. Hi love, I'm just filming a video! Be quiet. It's got flowers down here, and I'll insert some photos, but it's just beautiful. I'm really proud of it, and everyone thinks it's quite funny that it's our Wi-Fi code. Anyway, and then I glued on the back to cover up the back, and I made a little bow here. Whoa! I'm just going to put it down and insert some photos. Yeah, so that was another thing that I made that I really am proud of. Okay, right. What am I going to cast on next? Let's have a look. Right, cast-ons starting. I am going to, well, I've got quite a few patterns in my library on Ravelry. There's I want to make something to wear now. So there's a cardigan, what's it called? A good vintage cardigan, which is like a granny striped cardigan. I'm going to start that, and excuse me, I wasn't sure what colours I wanted to use for that. So I bought some yarn pegs, just because I needed to see all the colours, and I'd seen other people buy these and I thought they looked really good. So I'll put a link to where I got those on Etsy below, all the yarn pegs for all the Starcraft DK and the other ones. And I'm going to choose what colours to have for my vintage cardigan. I know that I already want to put, well, let's see. I should have got this sorted, shouldn't I? I really like, where is it? I'm getting there with nearly recognising them all now. I really like this combination. Can't find it now. Typical. If you've switched off, I don't blame you. I really like mushroom and midnight with shrimp. Mushroom, midnight, shrimp and petrol. I really like I really like that combination. But the pattern has like 6 or 7 colours with the neutral one interspersed. So I don't quite know what to put with those. So if you know the colours, do suggest down below, because I'm not sure. Maybe some kind of lighter versions, I was thinking, of the blue and the shrimp, you know, then to just kind of have it all in its tonal colours. We will see. Got all the pegs out now, haven't I? That's one thing I want to start. I'm also wanting to start this pleated cardigan by the Crochet Project, and I really like that. And I bought this snuggly double knitting wool. I bought lots of it, and I might use this. It says that they want 9 balls, I think, of 9 50-gram balls of baby alpaca silk 4-ply, but this is DK. I've got 8 balls. I'm thinking it might work. I don't know. If not, then I was thinking I could add like this tealy row next to it. Like that could be like, I could do as much as I could in this and then kind of have the base as a teal. That might work because I really like those colours together. So I'm going to try and start that as well. And then I also want to start some Hermione socks, and I want to use this beautiful yarn that I got again from Crafting and Treats Catherine. It's called Fresh as a Freesia, and they're just my colours. They are my bag. Pinks and purples and blues and lovely whites. So yeah, that's what I want to start. I think we've talked about everything for this first podcast. Yeah, I think that's everything we're going to talk about. I should probably stop overthinking, but yeah, if there's anything else you'd like to know, maybe, like, I do feel that I'm quite a novice at crochet and knitting, so I hope to kind of share with you what I've learned as we go. So if there's anything that you'd like to know, how I've done it, or maybe the resources I've used to help me get better, then do let me know. I'm new to all this. If you would like me to tell you any jokes, then add that in. If you'd like to know about what I listen to or watch whilst I'm crocheting, then let me know. If there's other things that you'd like to hear me talk about, then let me know. Or if there's some things that you think, Katie, you don't need to talk about that, let me know. Yeah, so I've been Katie Teage. This has been podcast number 1. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe. I'm going to try and do these once a month to kind of show you what I've made. So I've shown you March, so hopefully at the end of April, so the next one will be in the beginning of May, then I'll show you what I've made in April. And I will add some pictures and footage of what I've talked about at the end, which is coming up now. Check me out on Instagram, it's Katie Teage Plans. My other life, if you've just met me here through the crochet world, is that I'm well into stationery. Like I think a few of us are crochet knitting people are into stationery as well. There's something about doing stuff with the hands, isn't there? My friend said it was an ancient thing that, you know, we used to sort through flowers and grains and, you know, do a lot more practical things with our fingers. So I think that's where it comes from. But now we just make pretty things, which is great. I love to make. So yes, I've been Katie, this has been me, you've been you. I'm going to stop now. I don't know how to end this, but thanks a lot. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.